Well, Dallas police have made one arrest in connection to the murder of a man in March, but one suspect tonight still on the run. 30-year-old Victor Rojas was shot on South Buckner Boulevard. His family says that he'd gone to the gym that night and never returned. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager spoke to the victim's family. Peyton.
Hi, Heather. Back in March, Dallas police didn't release many details on this case. Now this week, they are asking for the public's help. The victim's family is still waiting for complete justice, telling us the last time they spoke to Victor Rojas, he was headed to the gym. Dallas police posted this wanted poster Wednesday on social media. Investigators looking for 18-year-old Jose Salas Jr., accused of murdering a man back in March. The night of March 3rd, officers responded to a Quick Trip gas station at South Buckner Boulevard and Samuel Boulevard. These stills taken by Fox 4 photojournalist Terry Van Sickle. Police say 30-year-old Victor Rojas was shot and killed, his body found next to his truck and the gas pump.
If they know him and they know where he's at, speak up. It's scary. Totally understand that. It's scary, even for us.
Rojas's family did not want their identities revealed, scared for their own safety with Salas not in custody. Rojas frequented the Planet Fitness next door to the Quick Trip. That night, Rojas told his wife he was going to work out, part of his usual evening routine. But Rojas never returned home. Dallas investigators did not release a motive. Rojas's family says police told them that two suspects were attempting to carjack the 30-year-old as he was leaving the gym. Back in April, 20-year-old Alex Hernandez was taken into custody connected to Rojas's murder, but Salas is still on the run.
If they had the heart to do that to him, how are we sure that he or they won't be willing to do that to somebody else's family member?
Dallas police say the search for Salas is part of the department's initiative called Operation Justice Trail. Just last month, Dallas's new police chief, Daniel Como, announced his first major operation, targeting violent felons. Meanwhile, Rojas, described as a hardworking father of two young boys and a loving husband.
Losing Victor has been very hard for all of us. But I will say it has been harder for, of course, his wife and his kids.
There is a Crime Stoppers reward for any information leading to the arrest of Salas. And as for the other suspect, Alex Hernandez, who was arrested back in April, we also checked, and he has since bonded out of the Dallas County Jail on his murder charge. Heather?
All right, Peyton Yeager reporting live. Thanks, Peyton.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, information is still pretty limited at this hour, but police are saying that right now they don't have any known suspects at this time, but several people were taken into custody for questioning as well. So Dallas police, they do say that the shooting happened just after midnight on Main Street and Latimer Expressway, good Latimer Expressway. Officers heard the gunfire and found a man injured with gunshot wounds. He was taken to a local hospital and died shortly after. Surveillance video shows there was a fight before the shooting. 5 to 6 people were involved, and the video shows the victim falling to the ground as others take off. 3 men were taken into custody for questioning. A rifle with a large drum magazine was recovered from the scene, and it's unclear who it belongs to, but it was found next to the shooting victim. Now, this is the second shooting in Deep Ellum this week. We first reported on Good Day on Monday that a group of people were shooting at each other near Punch Bowl Social early Monday morning. A woman was caught in the crossfire and injured herself after falling and hitting her head. No other injuries were reported. Dallas police are still looking for the suspects in that incident as well. So if anyone knows anything, they are urged to call Dallas police as soon as possible so that they can solve these 2 incidences that happened in Deep Ellum this week. For Good Day, I'm Ticia Muzinga.
President Trump says he will make a decision within 2 weeks on whether to take military action against Iran. He says he's still hopeful for a diplomatic solution. The announcement comes after Iran hit several civilian targets in Israel earlier today. Fox's Trey Yingst reports from Tel Aviv.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt had a message directly from President Trump Thursday as he continues to weigh U.S. involvement in the Israel-Iran conflict.
If there's a chance for diplomacy, the president's always going to grab it, but he's not afraid to use strength as well.
So far, Israel has launched dozens of strikes against Iranian nuclear and military sites, but they've not yet been able to hit the Fordow nuclear facility, which sits hundreds of feet underground.
That was put there so that it could not easily be subject to aerial bombardment.
The U.S. could use its powerful bunker buster bombs to take out the facility, but those can only be dropped by Air Force B-2 bombers, flown by American pilots. And feelings about taking that step are mixed.
Look, I want to see someone finish the job, whether it's Israel, whether it's the United States of America.
The idea that one strike is going to be adequate, I think, is a misconception.
Experts say there are alternatives to a U.S. strike. They're just not as good.
Israel can certainly conduct a ground raid, secure the facility and then blow it up. There's a lot of risk associated with that.
Meanwhile, Israeli officials say they'll step up attacks against Iran after a missile barrage Thursday hit several civilian targets, including a hospital.
We're targeting military sites. We're targeting nuclear sites. They're targeting civilians because they're a criminal regime.
President Trump says he'll make a decision within the next 2 weeks about whether or not to get directly involved in the Israel-Iran conflict. In Tel Aviv, Trey Yingst, Fox 4 News.
A truck driver convicted of kidnapping and killing a 25-year-old woman will spend the rest of his life in federal prison. Hassan Hazard receiving his mandatory life sentence last week. Fox 4's David Santendri has more from the sentencing and spoke to someone who was there for it. David.
Yeah, Heather, we do not know exactly how the 25-year-old woman was killed. Her body found 8 days after she was picked up by a truck driver who is now sentenced to life in federal prison. It was in an adult bookstore parking lot along Harry Hines Boulevard in northwest Dallas.
It's known for sex buyers frequenting the area,
where a truck driver picked up a young woman, killed her, and ditched her body last August.
Kalea was a beautiful human that never deserved to be killed.
It's unclear what circumstances led Kalea Zangari, a U.S. Army veteran, to become a sex worker. The 25-year-old was visiting Dallas from California.
We know that the girls will frequently do a loop. So they'll be in Denver, they'll be in Houston, they'll frequent the different cities and they'll come in for a day or two and work.
Zangari picked up by truck driver Hassan Hazard, who killed her and ditched her body in East Texas. Zangari's belongings found in Hazard's truck. Her cell phone shattered on the side of the road along Hazard's route.
He is a tool of Satan, is what he is.
Amanda Pettit, executive director of Rescue Hill, a nonprofit working to help sex trafficking survivors. Pettit was in court last week when Hazard was sentenced to life in federal prison.
He had been quiet throughout the whole trial. He hadn't said a word. He didn't take the stand for himself.
Pettit, however, says Hazard spoke during sentencing, claiming the death was an accident, and he discarded her body because he did not want his family to find out he was cheating.
And he gave this crazy story, and he just kept going and going and going, while the family had to sit there and listen to him spew the lies.
Some victims Pettit's nonprofit helps work along Harry Hines, where Dallas police have a consistent presence. There are even signs letting drivers know they cannot cruise back and forth in the area.
We don't need sex buyers down here. Like, they don't get to come down and kill our girls.
Zangari's mother forwarded Fox 4 a letter saying Kalea was incredibly loyal and never judged anyone.
We're so quick to say, well, they made this choice. Well, they're here. No, take a deeper look.
Federal investigators say after the crime, Hazard cleaned his truck with bleach and then Googled, quote, how many years for second and third degree murder. Heather, back to you.
All right, David Santendri, thank you.